Okay, so as a Christian, right, our First Amendment rights are protected as Christians, right? So in Matthew 10:34, Jesus says, "Do not believe I've come to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword," right? And then he goes on to talk about dividing, how Christians are commanded to divide um, if you're Christian, right? Now, unfortunately, this is opposite to the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment is the one that keeps us having to keep people in our communities that are not really welcome, uh, keep work with people we don't want to work with. It allows people to be rude and you still have to put up with them, that sort of garbage, right? And so this is actually a violation of the First Amendment. It is unconstitutional. It is 100% against the Constitution of the United States of America, and it is illegal. Because, right, this infringes upon Christians' rights to divide with a sword and keep the people that you don't really want in your communities out of your communities legally, right? This is also allowing people to exploit, right, racial traits and things like that. Oh, they did it to me because I'm this, or they did it to me because I'm that. This is also stemming a lot of protected groups, right? Elevating other groups to a different level of protection by law. This is 100% illegal. It is 100% against the Constitution of the United States, and it is 100% against Christianity. So that being said, over the 4th of July weekend, there were over 55 people shot in Chicago, right? And so what you don't see is racial traits being published. If you do searches for the Muslim religion, Islam, we all know that it's connected with terrorism as we've seen throughout our entire lives. But if you do a Google search on it, it will be being shielded or covered up, and you won't be able to find many statistics on it in the United States, searching from the United States on Google. Now, in the UK, you can pull up UK statistics and things like that, and the statistics aren't very good, as you might imagine, as we're seeing what's happening in the UK. But understanding that this is protecting people who are killing other people and inhibiting people from seeing who's doing it, right? Understanding this is, as long as this continues, right, American patriotism will continue to decline. Uh, the area in which what we're seeing now is high crime rate cities, usually on the southern border, New York, things like that, Chicago, Los Angeles. Well, the whites are fleeing, right? The 14th Amendment is completely against the Constitution of the United States. It is 100% illegal. Um, Understanding that, if you look at the elected officials in Los Angeles, they're all Latino. If you look at the elected officials in Brooklyn, New York, they're all black, right? And so understanding democracy, the 14th Amendment, it's not exactly working how people imagined it would work. Lo and behold, when you tell people you have to hang out with each other no matter what, how they're treating you, it doesn't work out so well, right? That's why it's opposite to Christianity, because it doesn't work, right? And so understanding that, it's important. And so we're seeing these rise of crime. This is a pretty big outlier, not very common in the U.S., but obviously stay away from Chicago. That being said, again, American patriotism will continue to decline, and eventually, right, there will be a civil war. The states will divide away and abolish this garbage, or you will continue to see. Right now, you're seeing mass fleeing of these cities away to other places, but eventually, right, the places to flee will get fewer and fewer and fewer. And so, if someone doesn't stand up and deal with this problem, it is just going to get worse and worse and worse. If you want to know two things that the United States government does absolutely not want you to look at, it is crime rates in these cities, it is the demographics of these cities, and it is the demographics of the fairly elected individuals. because what we're seeing is democracy has kind of failed, right? If you only vote Latinos in, well, that's not really democratic. And if you only vote whites in, that's not really democratic either. And if you only vote blacks in, that's also not very democratic. So understanding that is important, and this issue will worsen and worsen until people deal with it. And if you look at the crime in the cities, like I've said before, some of the cities in the United States that you really should avoid, they have crime rates and homicide rates 90 to 120 times that of China. So understanding, maybe our government officials should maybe look at what China's doing and do maybe a little closer to that. It's important.